Welcome back to Saturday Agenda. I'm Kelmany Dukart. A New Jersey restaurant has taken a bold step in implementing a new rule of banning children under the age of 10. Starting March 8th, Nettie's House of Spaghetti in Tinton Falls, New Jersey released a statement for their reasoning behind the policy, saying between noise levels, lack of space for high chairs, cleaning up crazy messes, and the liability of kids running around the restaurant, we've decided it's time to take control of the situation. The new rule has been met with a great deal of controversy and mixed reviews, as you can imagine, but only time will tell if it's the right move for the restaurant. Let's bring back in our panel. Wendy Patrick is the host of Today with Dr. Wendy on KCBQ Radio, and John Tabacco, the host of Wise Guys. This is a fun one. And Wendy, I want to kick it off with you. John, you're a lot closer in proximity to this restaurant. But Wendy, you're all the way in San Diego, and you had heard about this story. What was the buzz?
You know, I just am an avid reader, and I love odd news. And first of all, I want to know what a crazy mess is in a restaurant that they would have to clean up that only kids I guess would make. But I'll tell you, the reason this caught my attention is I can very clearly see both sides of this argument. On the one hand, we all know that adult diners that are out on a date, or maybe they're just out after a tough day, you know, they don't want to hear screaming kids. Everybody understands that. I mean, churches have cry rooms and separate activities for the children. On the other hand, if we're going to get into the business of banning age groups, in the law, we hate slippery slopes. If it is children under 10 today, is it adults under 80 tomorrow or over 80 tomorrow? Does that mean I can't bring my mother with me to dine out? Those are the kinds of things that have people asking what's next. So those are the dueling narratives surrounding the story that have blown up the Yelp page for Nettie's, which, by the way, sounds like a family restaurant, doesn't it? And so much for ordering off of the kids.
It really does.
Yeah, if this takes fire.
John, it also begs the question, how are parents raising their kids in Tinton, New Jersey, if it's such an issue that they've got to ban children from the restaurant? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I certainly know my way around a bowl of spaghetti, so this hits home for me. But, you know, you think about a bowl of spaghetti, you think about mom's house on Sunday, the kids are usually running around and all that other stuff. But like Wendy said, I can understand both sides of the story. And, you know, you can't have it both ways. In a lot of places, you know, we see like with social media and stuff, they tell us, well, they're private companies, so they can ban you from their site. It's their business model. So I tend to think, hey, maybe sometimes I do want to go to a restaurant where I know there's not all kids running around and throwing coloring books and crayons up in the air.
Absolutely.
I think in a capitalist society, business owners have a right to say the clientele they're trying to recruit to come to their restaurant. Unfortunately, it sounds like an Italian family restaurant, so that hits me a little at home. But at the end of the day, businesses can decide, and you can decide to spend your money there or not.
Exactly. Wendy, do you think that this is something that this could possibly be a trend that other restaurants follow suit, or do you think it could be a lawsuit?
You know, I was hoping that somebody would ask me that, because I think that this particular story and stories like it, when you're banning certain age groups or certain classifications of people, has consequences both in a court of law and in the court of public opinion, which might shut down a restaurant before anything actually gets into a court in front of a judge. You know, it says that there's no room for high chairs. Well, is there room for wheelchairs? You can just see how this could cause so many issues and problems and legal arguments, which is why civil lawyers get the big bucks, not prosecutors like me. But you can certainly see how somebody would argue it's discriminatory. And we're going to wait and see if that policy ever goes into effect. And here's a question: how do you implement it? How do you know how old the kids are? Do you ask for birth certificates? We could talk about this for the whole rest of the hour, Kelmany.
Absolutely. I think it's fascinating. 10 is like a really, I mean, is it because it's the double digits? It's such an obscure number. Wendy Patrick, John Tabacco, great to have you both here. Appreciate it. Be sure to check out John's show, Wise Guys, with John Tabacco every Saturday night, 10 p.m. right here on Newsmax. Watch as John and his fellow Wise Guys as they take to the streets of New York. You will not want to miss it.